Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. All right. Let's see. How are my levels? My levels are good. My levers are good, sweetie. All right. Let's slay, queen. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jakin Off. It's me, Jake, Redpath, here at Jakin Off. We're going to do it. We're going to do another podcast. I don't think this is actually the third episode. I think this will be episode 2. With the first recording that I put out is the pilot, is what I'm calling it now. But regardless, I'm happy you're here. Thanks for coming. It's such a big week. Christmas is just in a couple of days. The last episode I recorded was 2 days ago, and now it's December 23rd. And man, oh man, is it coming up, dude? Comedy Nut is tonight. My little show, Comedy Nut, I run here at Barrel of the Bottoms. Really excited to be doing that tonight, a couple days before Christmas. It's like 1 degree outside. It's so cold. It is so cold, dude, and there'll still probably be dudes out there not wearing coats. How come it's never dudes, or it's always dudes that are like, I'm not cold? Women are never like, will like refuse to admit that they're uncomfortable, you know? Women never refuse to admit that they are cold and should be wearing a coat. It's crazy cold outside though, man. And it's warm in here, which is good, and I'm feeling thankful for that. Yeah, fucking cold as hell. It's like cold in the entire country. This storm is sweeping the nation, I suppose, which is pretty great. Gotta love a big snowstorm that's gonna probably kill people. I've been hiding it. Our landlord came over and he fixed our furnace for us the other day. I feel bad for everyone else that I know. Like almost everybody that I know has a bad landlord. But my landlord is kind of awesome. I feel everybody else is like, it's a nightmare. They treat me like shit. And I'm like, my landlord is kind and respectful and does the stuff that you want a landlord to do, like fix your furnace when it's gonna be -7 degrees outside or whatever. He came right over, fixed it. It was just a little thermocoupler out. So that happens sometimes to furnaces. But yeah, man, we were super stoked. We have some space heaters, and we live in a middle unit, so we don't have to we don't live on like the top floor or the ground floor. We live right in the middle, so we're a little better insulated, a little easier to keep the apartment warm, which is nice. But yeah, man, it's cold as fuck. It was really cold in here the other day because there was still a window unit. That's just how the weather is here in Kansas City, is that there was not that long ago need to for a window unit to be in here, a window air conditioning unit. Because if it's 60 degrees outside and you get 30 people up here, it gets hot. It gets really warm in here when you have a lot of people. So there was still a window unit in, and the temperature was dropping, and so it was cold as shit in here. But the window unit's out now, and now it's winterized. So that'll be nice for Comedy Nut tonight. Comedy Nut is a thing that I do at Barrel of the Bottoms. It's improvised stand-up. It's like you draw, instead of just doing regular stand-up, you draw a piece of paper out of a bowl and you riff on it. You're just riffing. You just do some riffs. So I do that here. It's a lot of fun. It's mostly just comedians that show up. I call it a show, but it's an open mic. It's just a little bit different, and it's mostly just comics hanging out. We have some beers, throw back a few brew dogs, and BYOB, of course. There's no liquor license, and so we we hang, we joke, we josh around, and it's a good time. And I'm excited to be doing it tonight. There's some friends that I haven't seen in a long time that are in town that are gonna come through. So it's gonna be a good time. Gonna have fun. But I was just recording another episode before this. Not that it was gonna be a different episode, but my computer shut off, and so I lost the recording. And don't you hate that? Don't you hate when that happens? When you record for 40 minutes of a podcast and then you lose the recording. The reason why I think my laptop crashed is because I was trying to record the screen so that I could put what I'm seeing onto the video for the podcast. It doesn't seem like that's going to be possible. So I am just going to maybe splice in stuff or something, overlay it a little bit, because it'll be fun, it'd be nice, and that sort of thing for you guys to be able to be looking at what I'm looking at. But I don't think that I can record my screen and be watching videos all at the same time. My laptop can't handle it, I guess. It fucking got really hot. The laptop got really hot. It was real scary. I was pretty scared. I was worried that I had broken it. So, no harm, no foul, though. Just got to redo it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This can be a little bit tricky. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know. I've got a little thing plugged into my computer, and that's about it. So, we're gonna have some adversity in that department and in every other department. But yeah, man, how fun. How cool and fun. I'm excited for Christmas. I'm excited for tomorrow's Christmas Eve. The Chiefs play. The Chiefs play tomorrow on Christmas Eve, baby. Hell yeah. I went to a Chiefs game that was on Christmas Eve a couple years ago. It was on a Sunday. I was with my friend Dustin, and we met at my place. I live downtown, and then we took an Uber to the stadium, or it was a Lyft actually. And the Lyft app sent me a notification on when the Lyft was on its way there that said, "Hey, just so you know, the person who is driving your Lyft is deaf." And looking back, I should have realized, like, oh, that's no big deal. That's no problem. But at the time, I had been drinking a little bit. I wasn't under my faculties. And I was like, oh man, I got to type out directions on my phone. And I typed out like these notes because we wanted to be dropped off at a specific spot and stuff. And so we get in the car, and we're riding, and it's quiet. And Dustin and I are chatting a little bit, but we just assume that this guy can't hear us. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in the front seat. And so we're assuming that this guy can't hear what we're saying. And so we're talking. It's not like we're talking about him or anything. It's not like we're saying anything mean about this guy. We're just talking about, the game's going to be fun, da-da-da-da-da. And but then as we get close, I'm like, I got to show him the notes with the directions on where we want to be dropped off, which we had talked about. I was like, so what do I need to type out? And he's like, say that say that we need to be dropped off by these Z-trip flags and da-da-da-da-da, like just by this part, this gate or whatever. And so I typed it out, and then I showed it to him, and he just goes, yeah, I know. He was just like, yeah. And I was like, So I don't know. I don't really remember like what the resolution was. It kind of felt like the fucking Lyft app like lied to us a little bit and like told us that this guy was hard of hearing or something, when he definitely wasn't, and definitely heard everything that we said. So that was weird. That was strange. We got out of the car, and Dustin slid. We were walking down, and he like slid down on his feet down a hill, like, just kept his balance, just kind of like surfboard style a little bit, and he just went straight down the hill, and then I tried to do the same thing and fell into the snow. It had been snowing, and so I got all cold and wet before we went in. The Chiefs were playing the Dolphins. It was the Chiefs versus the Dolphins on Christmas Eve, so whatever year that was. Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun time. They play on Christmas Eve tomorrow, so hoping to have a fun time watching that. Get a W, please. Chiefs for me, can you? We're not doing Chiefs and Chatter tomorrow, which is probably good. Probably good that we don't do it on Christmas Eve. Nobody's going to be there. Yeah, dude. Got a lot going on. Probably going to go over to my aunt's house for Christmas Eve. We get together every Christmas Eve. And, my whole family on my mom's side. My mom's the youngest of 7 kids. And so I have a lot of cousins and a lot of aunts and uncles. And most of us get together at my aunt's house on Christmas Eve. Since it's been a while since everybody has come. I think the last time everybody came was also the time that I threw up and killed one of my aunt's bushes with my puke. My toxic puke. We do White Elephant, and I had gotten a package of chocolate liquor chocolates, like booze chocolates. You know what I'm talking about? They come in a little package, and they're the fillings are all alcohol. They're filled with alcohol. And it's not like I got drunk. I didn't get drunk off of them. But they're gross. If you've ever had those, they're disgusting. And it's why would I, you got to eat the whole thing, because it's what are you going to eat a weed chocolate with dinner? You know what I'm saying? Or a weed chocolate, what are you gonna eat a booze chocolate with dinner? It's not a glass of wine. It's not the same. It's gross. It's disgusting. And I did. I ate the whole box, and I threw up in my aunt's bush. My aunt then told me that the bush died a few months later. When spring came around, she couldn't get it to come back to life after I puked all over it. Sorry, Aunt Sharon. That's my bad. You know what? If a bush can't survive a little puke, maybe it doesn't deserve to live. How about that? Nobody ever thought of it that way, did they? Yeah, man. It sucks that I killed a bush, and all because little booze chocolates are nasty as fuck. They're gross as hell, dude. I didn't even have a good time. I didn't even get lit or anything. I just threw up because I had too much chocolate. This is gross. I'll probably, go over there tomorrow for Christmas Eve and then head home. Tomorrow on Christmas Day, we're driving down to where Ginny's from, hanging out with her family. It'll be fun. I like her family. They're good people. So I always have a nice time. And then, yeah, we'll come back home that night and kick it. Just chill, have a little night to ourselves. I will say that I liked, one of the things that I liked about the pandemic was that you weren't obligated to go spend time with your family on the holidays. As bad as that sounds. And I love my family and I love spending time with them. But it was nice to just have, an easy, low pressure Christmas just at home alone. It's kind of nice. You know what I mean? It's not the worst thing to ever happen. It isn't, it kind of rules. So we had a fun time, and we, but it's good. We have to go see our families. It's important. As much as you know, just sitting at home in your jammies is nice. It feels nice to do. Oh man, it's gonna be after that. You know, another week until New Year's Eve, 2023. Do I have any resolutions? Do I have any New Year's resolutions? Revolutions? I'm starting a revolution this New Year's. How about this? How about no more resolutions, only revolutions? 2023, the year of the revolutions. What are my revolutions? My revolutions are that I'm revolting against. I'm revolting against smoking cigarettes. I want to. It's just a resolution. I don't want to smoke any more cigarettes. They're so bad. I don't buy my own cigarettes anymore, and so I bum them from people when I do smoke them, and it's hard to stop. They're so smoking is really cool. Is the thing that people don't want to admit is that smoking is really cool. It's super cool. I mean, it's bad for you. It feels kind of good, but it also is like it feels bad. You know, the day after you do it, you don't feel good. You don't wake up feeling good. But it looks fucking cool as hell, dude. It looks awesome. You know what I mean? It really does. And I still get cravings for cigarettes when I see like people smoking in movies. And I don't even know that they're like cigarette cravings. I just crave to look cool, you know? And a lot of people be like, "Oh, cigarettes don't look cool. You don't look cool when you're smoking them." Da 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 da. It's like, "Nuh-uh, dude. Bullshit. Yeah, you do. You think, oh, okay. You think that smoking cigarettes doesn't look cool? You don't think that that's cool? Liar. Liar, well, what do you think looks cool? Vaping? Douchebag? You fucking loser. You like to vape? You like big vape clouds? You fucking maniac? That's insane, dude. Vaping is the douchiest thing ever. Do you remember, it wasn't that long ago, people still have them, those like crazy like big vaporizers that have like they're like the size of like a fucking battery, like a laptop battery or something. You know what I'm talking about? And you put the juice in and you fucking literally inhale an entire fucking atmosphere of vapor and blow it out. They were having like, I mean, they still do probably have vape conventions or whatever. It was like a movement. It was a movement, and yeah, they were everywhere, man. I haven't seen one of those in a while. One time I tried, I trolled a vaping group on Facebook. This would have been years ago. But the way that I did was I went on to this it was like a KC vape circle, I think is what it was called. And I went on there and I made a post that was like, "Hey everybody, like just here to like put something for sale, like da 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 da," you know, it was like a page where you could sell shit. And I was like I was selling blue e-cigarettes. The one with Steven Dorff. Steven Dorff was like in the advertisements for and shit. They're like they look like little black cigarettes, and they even the box looks like a cigarette box or whatever. And they were like different obviously than like the giant batteries, which is what most of the people in this group used. And so I was like, I'm selling these blue e-cigarettes for $250 or best offer, and they're worth like $40. And so I'm selling it for $250 or best offer. And the picture I used was a picture from like the blue e-cigarette website. If you were going to go buy them, it would just be the picture from the website. So it looked like a stock photo. It was obviously not photos of the thing that I was selling, like what you would see on Facebook Marketplace or something where somebody posts a picture of a table or something. It was like professional listing photos. And so I put that on there, $250 or best offer. and people immediately were like, "Oh my God, you must have forgotten some zeros, or like you forgot a decimal point or something." This one guy was like, "Yeah, you forgot a decimal point in there, you know?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Like, you're right." And so I was like, the price is 250.00 or best offer. Because he was trying to say that I should be selling them for $25. And so he was fucking, all these people were just like in the comments saying all this crazy shit, and I just was dragging it on forever. There was some really hilarious shit that people said. One guy goes, he goes, $250. I'm in the wrong business, but he spelled wrong incorrectly. He spelled it WRING instead of WRONG. So really what he wrote in his comment was $250. Wow, I'm in the ring business. And so I just replied and was like, "You're in the ring business?" And he goes, "What?" And I just said, "What?" Like all these people are like, they're so dumb, If you go on any Facebook group, everyone in it is the stupidest person ever, dude. And so all these people are like so dumb, and just keep replying. They're like, "You can't be serious." And it's like, of course I'm not serious. I'm like completely trolling. And there's just comment after comment after comment of these silly things. And I was really proud of myself that I made these vape people look silly and look stupid. You're so stupid. I don't know. I try to use like a Juul for a little bit to not smoke cigarettes, but it just is not the same, and it hurts more. It hurt my throat more. Like when I would inhale vapor from the Juul, it would like really hurt my throat, and I would cough a lot. And I told like one of my friends, "Yeah, I can't. It hurts really bad." And they were like, "You get over it." And I was like, "That's scary. That doesn't sound that much better than smoking cigarettes." So I'm trying to do neither. I don't want to do either one. I see people vaping a lot. I just want to be free from the clutches of my addiction, But I really do love cigarettes a lot, and I do think that they're cool. I don't even think that that's arguable. I don't even think the fact that they're cool is arguable. That's how cool cigarettes are. What else? What other New Year's revolutions do I have? Oh, I don't know. What are yours? Send them to me. What are you going to do this New Year's to revolt? What are you rebelling against this year? I'm excited to hear. Send them to me at jakin.off.podcast at gmail.com. You can send anything there. Please don't send anything illegal or scary, though. Anything, it's got to have a subject line. Put what is in there in the subject line. And if it's appropriate, I'll open it. I am, I would say, this is going all right for for the fact that I just recorded an episode. I said I was watching a video, and the video that I was watching was, I was watching, Vicky Hartzler, who's a representative in Congress from Missouri. She's not my representative. She doesn't represent my district, but she is a representative in Missouri, and she cried on the floor of Congress the other day because of the fact that they passed a bill that protects gay marriage. She cried on the House floor. This was a couple weeks ago. But I just got around to watching it, and it's so funny, dude. The shit that these people will fucking say, It's insane. It's so wild. And also embarrassing. It's like, you're going to cry, you little fucking baby. You're going to cry on the House floor because gay people are going to get married. You're so upset that gay people are going to get married. God, what a fucking lunatic, dude. It has nothing to do with you. And she's wearing, dude, the jacket. Her outfit in the video is fucking horrendous. It's so terrible. I mean, she's wearing like a mustard yellow leather jacket. She's out of Congress after this session. I'm not sure that, who won her seat, or if somebody, if the person replacing her rather is worse somehow. I would imagine probably, because this is Missouri, and it's one of the most red states in the country. But yeah, she cried. She cried about gay people's right to get married being codified into law is hurtful to her. And she was like, this is an affront to religious freedom everywhere. Oh, it's somebody walking around upstairs. This infringes on all of our rights as Christians and religious institutions and da 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 da. And I just hope that my colleagues will stand up for what's right. Thank you. I yield. God, how embarrassing, dude. These people are fucking crazy though, aren't they? I mean, they really are, dude. The thing that I feel like exemplifies just how fucking insane conservative people are is the whole shit with the Black Little Mermaid. The Disney is doing the live action Little Mermaid, and they just how they did the live action Lion King. Just how they did, all these other live action movies that they made. I think they did Beauty and the Beast or whatever. They've done all these different live action movies, and now they're doing live action Little Mermaid. And when they announced that the Little Mermaid was going to be a black girl, people lost their minds. They lost their fucking minds. They were like, the Little Mermaid is not black. She is not black. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe it. And it's the funniest shit. Dude, it's a fucking mermaid. It's a fake story about a fucking mermaid. And people were like, well, traditionally, the Little Mermaid is black. Or is not black. She has red hair and is white. So it's going against tradition. And it's like, dude, you know who made up the tradition? As far as most of us know, was fucking Disney. It was Disney, the corporation. And so now they're changing it. Because guess what? It's their shit. They can do whatever they want. And not only that, it's a mermaid. It's fake, make-believe mermaid. Come on, man. Is it really worth getting upset about? They're like, this is so woke. This is so woke. It's wild. And the thing is, the part that really is sad though, and the part that that makes me feel bad for how ignorant people who are upset by that sort of thing are, is what you're upset about ultimately, and what you're saying is too woke and is tearing apart the fabric of society, supposedly, is a black woman on television or in a movie. It's a black woman replacing a white woman in a movie. And not even replacing a white woman, replacing a white cartoon mermaid. And you're losing your mind. They were so upset, and it's pathetic is what it is, because it's essentially what they're saying is that it is offensive to them that a black woman replaces a white cartoon mermaid to the degree that they will boycott Disney, and that they will refuse to go see this movie. And at the root of it, and nobody will admit this, and I would actually probably guess that most people don't even realize it. about themselves, but it's the same mentality that's been handed down generation after generation, especially in conservative sort of places that was behind Jim Crow and segregation, and then even further back behind slavery. And so it's really is like when people get upset about this, it really is just sort of that kind of stuff is just repeating history over and over again. And like obviously the fact that there is a black woman in The Little Mermaid and people are upset about it isn't the same as slavery, and it's not the same as Jim Crow or segregation, but it's that mindset that has existed for so long, and I hope that it's a sign that it's going away, but I also fear that there are enough people who are consciously trying to keep it alive that it will never actually go away forever. So that's unfortunate, but it's so crazy to me, man. I mean, that's basically, more or less when somebody is upset about something like that, they're showing you actually what they believe. And that's what this Vicky Hartzler thing made me think of, because she's crying. She's literally crying on the floor of Congress about gay people getting married. And it has no weight on any of her religious beliefs. It has nothing to do with her at all. Marriage is an act that is, it's devoid of religion. It's at most, when we are talking about it in terms of the law and who should be able to participate in marriage, marriage is something that the government allows you to do. It's a government institution is what marriage is. It is what links two people and says these two people are partners in life, and therefore they are dependent on each other and can share and participate in certain aspects of this other person's civil life, such as their insurance and stuff. And so it has nothing to do with God. It would literally be illegal and unconstitutional for it to have something to do with God because of the separation of church and state, and marriage being an act that or a privilege given by the state. It seems pretty clear that it should not be subject to religious rules at all from any religion, period. Now, what marriage means to you personally is totally different. Maybe, there are ceremonies that take place, of course, when people get married. I've been to many of them, Jewish, Catholic, just sort of Christian, non-denominational, I feel like is the most common one that I've been in. I married my cousin. I was an ordained minister at her wedding. And so that certainly wasn't religious at all. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, shut up, you dumbass. You don't know what you're talking about. You look like an idiot, and you really are. They're showing that these people don't. They want to deprive others of their rights, and to a degree that I actually believe that it's driven by their religious ideologies. I don't believe that that's the case for a lot of the people that are pushing for these sort of laws. I think that it is more to do with being able to maintain political power by catering more and more to the far right voters that are still willing to sort of accept this kind of shit. Because the thing is a lot of middle of the road, quote unquote, Republicans that existed are not gonna. They don't like that stuff. You know what I mean? Quote unquote fiscal conservatives are not into you know preventing gay people from getting married. So they think that that's a little wacky. And more and more, I mean, we saw it in the midterms, like the focus on, you know, oppressing transgender people sort of failed with a lot of voters in a lot of important places, like in Pennsylvania, for example, with that, you know, that sort of line of attack against Democrats is actually not good for Republicans, but it's very good for Republicans in Republican primaries when sort of the most extreme of the Republican Party really goes out and votes. And so that's why you saw more of those people, is not because the Republican Party is, you know, I don't know. They're just it's not good. I think that Donald Trump will probably win the nomination in 2024. If I had to guess. I don't know. He just Mike Lindell said something mean about Ron DeSantis today. I haven't seen what it is yet. I did watch Mike Lindell's speech at from America Fest, AmFest 2022. It's Turning Point USA does this festival called America Fest, and they have a bunch of speakers. Josh Hawley spoke there. It was a couple of weeks ago. I just got around to watching it finally, but Josh Hawley spoke, and he's a senator that represents Missouri. You probably have seen him, the picture of him raising his fist to the January 6th protesters as he's like walking into the Capitol building. He told people to not masturbate and to quit watching porn, which personally I don't necessarily see as a big concern. I am not as far as the stuff that I'm worried about in the realm of societal problems. People watching porn and masturbating is really, really low on the list. I actually think that even higher on the list of other people watching porn and masturbating would be me watching porn and masturbating, but that's not even very high on the list. It's that's so silly. That's so silly. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's like what these people run on, though. Is they're like, we gotta get these kids to quit jerking off. These are two representatives of the state of Missouri, and I thought it worth talking about just to illustrate how sort of conservative the place that I live in is. Kansas City itself is not super conservative, but it's just in a pocket of very, very conservative politics. And yeah, man, Josh Hawley trying to get people to not jerk off. Vicky Hartzler crying about gay people getting married. Oh no, they're gonna get married. I can't believe it. What a fucking moron. I watched a video of Mike Lindell. He gave a speech at America Fest as well. If you don't know who Mike Lindell is, he's the MyPillow guy. He's the dude who invented the MyPillow. So the whole deal with him, I've read his autobiography. I love him, and I love watching him give speeches, because he is everybody else. The thing about everybody else that is in these spaces and that is in sort of like this conservative influence sphere that is outside of politics, because people like Josh Hawley and Vicky Hartzler are, they're politicians. And so when they are calling for action against some stuff, they try to shroud it in this sort of delusions of, or illusions that they are actually upset about other things. They're upset about your constitutional rights. They're upset about the way that this is going to affect the nuclear family or something like that. It's bullshit. They're just wanting to maintain inequality within society. But they can't just come out and say that. They can't just come out and say that that's what they want to do as easily. They still do sometimes, but they can't do it as easily as people like Charlie Kirk or Mike Lindell, who are not necessarily running for office and are not in the world of politics and are also delusional and insane enough that they will say the kind of stuff that they do out loud. Mike Lindell is clearly he clearly has a disability of some kind. I'm not like saying that to be rude, but it seems like he has. He also could have, damaged his body and his mind with extensive drug use. He used to do a lot of crack cocaine. Now, certainly, I don't think that smoking crack cocaine immediately means that you are that you have some sort of damage to your ability to think or comprehend things. And I certainly don't think that it's inherently wrong to smoke crack necessarily. But I am saying that smoking a lot of crack can have effects on your body and your mind. And Mike Lindell might be suffering from that. But I think that he also is potentially neurodivergent. Because if you listen to the shit that he says, you're like, that's okay. That's interesting, Mike Lindell. He's obsessive about things. He's obsessive about the election. He opens this speech with a line, and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty close to exactly what he said. He goes, I wrote a much shorter speech this time. Melt down the voting machines and turn them into prison bars. It makes me laugh so hard. He's such a fucking... And that's what separates him, though, from the other sort of people that are present at these sorts of things, and why I actually genuinely... Because Mike Lindell seems like he believes everything that he's saying. And I don't think that he's doing any of the stuff that he's doing out of a, sort of, benefit to him. He's honestly pursuing the things that he believes are right and what he believes to be the truth. And to be clear, that those things are fucking insane. I mean, he's crazy. It's not, none of the stuff is right. I mean, and like it's borne out again and again and again about how wrong he is about stuff. But he believes it, and he's sincere. That's the thing that separates Mike Lindell to me from all of these other right-wing pundits, and why I go out of my way to look up and watch content that he puts out, because he's fucking not scared, dude. He was like saying today, it was something about how he doesn't think that Ron DeSantis actually won the Florida election. The Florida governor's election that happened in November of 2022. He won by a landslide. I mean, he fucking cleaned house. And of course he did. The Democrats ran a weak opponent. Ron DeSantis really did make a name for himself during COVID when he played it so politically. He played it so perfectly because he became the person who was standing up against any sort of COVID regulations at all. He was the buck stops here guy for right-wing conservatives. And that is really popular with a lot of those people because the same fiscal conservatives are the ones who consider themselves to be libertarians. And all fiscal conservative means is that the government doesn't tax anybody, and specifically gives tax breaks to huge tax breaks. It's not that they don't tax anybody. What fiscal conservatism is that the government doesn't tax rich people and doesn't tax people with money and doesn't tax companies and corporations and stuff, so that those companies and corporations can then in turn use that money to do stock buybacks and corner more and more of the economy until there's none of it left and we all lose power. That's what fiscal conservatives want. And so they love that shit. They're they're like freedom, that sort of stuff, which they do, I guess, to a degree, actually believe that the thing that they believe in is freedom, but really I think it would just be oppression via corporation. So that doesn't sound much better than whatever we have now. I would actually argue that it sounds a little bit worse for a lot of people, for most people. But hey, if you own a corporation, then you probably would want that. So why not push that ideology and say that it would make us all more free when it wouldn't? It definitely would not. Yeah, man. So I like Mike Lindell because he really will. The stuff that he says, he's very sincere. And he's speaking from the heart. And he does. I really do think that he wants to melt down all the voting machines and turn them into prison bars. I do think that he wants to do that, actually. And it's adorable. It's so cute. I mean, I've read his autobiography, and it's unhinged. I don't know if he wrote it himself. It definitely reads like he wrote it, but I also don't know if it's because I just am able to read it in his voice. The cover of it is like, it's like holographic, so you like rotate it and it shows you like a different image. And so you rotate it like one direction and it's a picture of him like all fucked up and like his shirt's all fucked up and stuff. And he looks like all disheveled. And then you turn it the other direction and, it's a picture of him like smiling and looking like in high spirits and looking healthy with a cross necklace sitting prominently in the middle of his chest. And it's really funny. It's really, really funny. And I think about it quite a bit, just how funny of a cover it is. And so I really do appreciate him. And he's had a tough life. Mike Lindell, a lot of people don't know this, was addicted. Well, actually, a lot of people do know this if you know anything about him. A lot of people don't know much about him outside of, well, a lot of people that I know don't know much about him. But Mike Lindell was addicted to crack cocaine for a long time, as I alluded to earlier. And he did a lot of like drug use and stuff. And then he found religion. And then he made the My Pillow, which is a fantastic pillow. I will say that pillow is really good. I used to have one. I got it as a Christmas gift, and it was a really nice pillow. It was really good. I can't knock the pillow. He says that God came to him in a dream and told him to make the My Pillow, And honestly, I think I kind of believe that is what happened. I'm not particularly religious or spiritual, but if God exists, he is responsible for the My Pillow, because it's a great pillow. It's like they cut up, like they take the corners of like memory foam, like little triangle, like pyramid shapes, and they stuff the pillow with that, like some really nice memory foam. So like it interlocks and prevents, instead of your head just compressing into memory foam, slowly over time, they interlock and actually support your head more. And so it supports your head and your neck, doesn't have to do as much of the work, and so the pillow is really nice. It's a really, really nice pillow. I wouldn't buy one now because of Mike Lindell. I bought his autobiography, but I couldn't resist. I had to read it. It was good. It's I don't know. I really can't tell if it was written by him or not, but it does read like it was written by him. There's a part in the, like, one of the first couple chapters where he's talking about, because he used to own a bar in Minnesota, and he's talking about how he had all his drinking buddies. At the bar I owned, there was always Paul ready to let off a quick joke, making fun of you. There was Petey, Primrose, Paul, Patty, Paul. He's like naming all these people, and like 6 of them are named Paul. There's like 6 people that were regulars at his bar. He's like Paul M, Paul W, Paul D. It's hilarious, and it's written just like it was him talking. The sentence structure and everything. And there's some crazy stuff in there, like the fact that he was addicted to crack cocaine, and it got so bad at one point that the guy who was selling him drugs called other drug dealers in the area and were like, "Hey, if this crazy white guy with a mustache comes up to you and comes and tries to buy crack, like, don't sell it to him. He's out, he's cut off." And so they stopped selling him crack, and he got clean, and that's good, and all that stuff. And he made the My Pillow, which is also good. But now he wants to destroy democracy, which is bad. That's the bad part of what he wants to do. And he's being sued for a lot of money by a lot of different people. He got served court papers in an Arby's drive-through, I believe. Or no, it was a Carl's Jr. drive-through. He got served court paperwork in one of the drive-thrus. I think it was Arby's. He got served court paperwork in an Arby's drive-thru. It's so funny. I would have loved to have been there. I would have loved to have been there when federal authorities or whoever it was served Mike Lindell papers in an Arby's drive-thru. He's like, "What is this? What is going on? Where did you guys come from?" I can't do a Mike Lindell impression. He's just in the drive-thru waiting to get his fucking whatever, dude, his beef and cheddar or something, his fucking shit, and they're just like, "Are you Mike Lindell?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You've been served. We have the meats." Right in the drive-thru, just trying to enjoy his lunch. What a goofball. Well, I guess it's about time to wrap it up. If you hung in this long, I appreciate you. Hopefully these are fun and you're enjoying yourself. If you're not, send any complaints you have to jakin.off.podcast at gmail.com. Send anything that you hate. Send anything. Send me hate mail. I'll read it. I'll do it. I would like you for it to be not that. I would like for it to be something different, but hate mail's fine. I love you. This is it. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.